protect us. And also that from here we can give more information about this ESG. So come to this, what about turning point that make ESG a worthwhile for SME?
Okay, I would like to share a case study that I've been through. We have this OEM manufacturers that they have been actively selling online, TikTok, you name it. They're quite famous, and their enthusiasm to go into bigger market. So they try to actually sell the products in grocery stores, but it has been rejected many times, and they do not know what is the reason. They are not being told until one day they are found out they are not qualified as a vendor because they are not ESG enabled. So what they have to do, they actually come to us and engage us to, really hand in hand to help them to build the policies, to develop SOPs, and along the line, they found out that there's a growing culture, learning culture in the organization, and eventually we have helped them to assist them to develop their own sustainability reports. And now, guess what? They are able to compete and send the products to most of the major shopping malls and groceries. This is a very good success example for a small SME that they are growing big and eventually they are doing exporting. So this is a very good story to share.
Wow, very good. Yeah, a lot of SME, they are not aware of the sustainability, the power of sustainability. So from here, today we are educating the SME to understand more that sustainability can bring you to another level. So now come to ESG and tax incentive. I would like to invite our Ms. Kwek Shui that what about the government has recently announced about the new investment framework. Can you explain on how does it lower down the taxes and what are the requirements related to ESG?
Thanks, Sally, for the questions. Malaysia actually have introduced a new incentive framework which is effective from 1st March 2026. They have been designed to shift the whole towards a more targeted outcome-based approach, which this is the ESG practice has become one of the key criterion for the eligibility. It will be first applied to the manufacturing sectors, means for those new and existing manufacturing, they can apply for this NIF, new investment framework incentive, and later they will be applied to service sectors as well that will be introduced later on the later stage. Actually, what are these NIF? This can be a tax incentive up to 15 years. Actually, the framework is a tiering approach on the income-based approach that it can be under NIF have 2 tax incentives which are mutually exclusive. What is that? It means that you can reduce the special tax rates. What means by reduce special tax rates means this corporate income tax rate can be reduced within a specific period from currently 24%, maybe can drop to 5%. This is one of the incentive that be given by the government for reduced tax rate. Another one you can choose also mutually exclusive is to claim investment tax allowance. So investment tax allowance actually is a capital expenditure based incentive that allow a company to offset a percentage of its qualifying capital expenditures against its statutory income. It means that this incentive allows them to choose whether you want to reduce tax rate or you want to claim investment tax allowance. It's a good initiative by the government. So it can be applied using the MIDA website. Yes, this is how that government is helping towards this ESG.
Wow, great. So SME actually we are not always have this updated information about how to lower down your tax, how to claim your tax incentive. So we need to speak to the professionals to advise us on our tax so that it will give us more benefits towards our company, as now the price everything has been increased. So this is one of the it can help us to save our costs instead of that you are to keep on paying extra, right? So now come to financial. When come to financial, I would like to invite Mr. Allen that how does Alliance Bank support SMEs in adoption of ESG?
Thanks for that question, Sally. So, right, at Alliance Bank, we pride ourselves as the bank for life. That's our main motto, right? As what she introduced myself, right? How the bank does it is through the 3 A's. Advocacy is the first A, where we participate in events like this, right? And through participation of events like this, we're able to then speak about it. We're able to then share knowledge and interchange experiences and gain invaluable insights into what's going on the ground, right? I think part of the government's drive through Bank Negara, BOSA, is that whichever companies that are large enough, they should be accountable for what they use, as in what you bakar, right? What you bakar in your company, your own scope 1, what you buy is your energy consumption, and what you pay, right? The 3 scopes, scope 1, scope 2, scope 3, right? So as long as SMEs understand this area, I think that's one of the areas that we pride ourselves as, okay, done, right? Advocacy, right? So the second solution is that advisory, right? We don't just go and talk at events like that, right? We, through partnerships, strategic partnerships, for example, United Nations Global Compact, we have a long-term partnership with UNGC, where we have workshops, right? Capacity building workshops that brings a room of participants, like maybe 50 companies, 100 companies with SME Corp, with Meta and all of that. And we train them about ESG. We give the education. We enable the SMEs to gain more knowledge, right? I think a session like this is good. At least you have a baseline knowledge. But through the advisory, that's where you will gain invaluable insights into specific actions where your companies can actually move on towards, right? Okay, then the third A, where we provide answers, that's where the solutions come in place. So we have a pool of 100 service providers, from solar partners, green energy solutions, renewables, energy efficiency, chiller and boilers, EV suppliers, charge point operators for EV cars, ecosystem and whatnot, right? So we have those partners that are validated by the bank. It's I would say top quality service providers that the customers can then use the solutions to then support their transition journey. Okay. Now, from a bank's perspective, I think this is very important. How do we further support, right? You have to understand P&L is very important, right? Balance sheet is very important. So the moment we have this balance sheet that's reported and audited, right? We are able to then take that and translate it into whether it's a bankable business, first and foremost. Second thing is aligning with the various financing schemes that the government is also giving out, right? We have SJPP, we have CGC. At Alliance Bank, we are very engaged with these two organizations to roll out government guaranteed schemes to provide very low interest rates. So for example, LCTF, Low Carbon Transition Facility, by SGPP and CGC, the interest rate is as low as 4 to 5%, right? And that's including the guarantee fee already, right? You don't have to place in any collateral, no asset, no FD pledge, nothing, right? It is considered a clean loan because government guarantees it already, right? So HTG is another such high-tech green. If you are moving into providing green solutions for your customers, that's where HTG will be relevant for you to support your business, to enable your customers to do the transition. So we manage the financing for both sides, the service provider as well as the customer that wants to enjoy the green facilities and that, right? So from a bank's perspective, we cover all the 3 areas so that it's not just a banking relationship with you, it's beyond banking as well.
Wow, very good. I'm sure that a lot of SME are interested what type of loan that they are eligible for that. So that's where Mr. Allen comes in with these 3 A's approach to sustainability, which is advocacy, advisory, and answer. Wow, very good. So from here, I would like to open some questions to our 3 VIP here. If an SME wants to start ESG next month, what are the first 3 things they should do? Maybe Stacia?
I will say start internally, start tracking your electricity reports, start tracking your manpower turnovers, and these are the basic data you need to get ready to be assessed and make sure you are ESG enabled. This is a very basic thing for SME to start with.
Well, I think this is very easy to fulfill as an SME. So what about tax? So I would like to hear from Shui. How should they start?
From tax perspective, we always say keep documentation is very important. So they need to learn about what are ESG. It comes about what is E, what is S, and what is G first of all. And then they need to start to collect all the bills, electricity bills. These are the first steps. Documentation is always the most important. And then see whether they can apply the incentive that will be available. Using the scorecard, they have to improve on their ESG practices. I think these are some of the initial steps they can start it.
Well, I think a lot of SME also can fulfill with this kind of requirement. Yeah. So next, I would like to ask from the finance side. So how should they start?
Yeah, okay. So adding on to your point, right, on the grants, recently SIRIM just launched a new grant, Smart Tech Hub, okay? This grant, we are also one of the participating banks that helps to promote this grant. And look up, go to SIRIM's website, information is all there, right? Also, in addition to grants, they can do up to 500,000, 50% of whatever that you need. Let's say you need 1 million, they can give you 500,000, right? And 500,000 is the limit for this grant, okay? And on top of that, of course, if you are looking to do self-assessment, we have our own tools as well. Many other consultants sometimes give you free tools, but those free tools, of course, comes with a lot of caveats, all these very limited scope and things like that, right? If you are able to be invited by any of your customers, public listed companies, to join their ESG events, please do so, because even though if Alliance Bank we're not there, most of the agenda and the topics will include a workshop where you will do a self-assessment. Okay? That self-assessment, you bring to any bank the results, right? And tell them, look, I have transition activities, I am trying to save electricity, I turn off lights, I control my air conditioning, more ambient temperature instead of 18 degrees all the time. You know, some of these may not seem important, but it is a direct impact on your electric bill as well, right? But it's certain people will say greenwashing, but it's not. It's not. It's actually material things that you can do within yourself. So another example, right? If you are thinking to switch to an EV vehicle, okay, that could be one opportunity to leverage on your own company vehicle switch to EV. Right? That is one initiative already. And the bank sees it, oh, okay, you are taking initiatives to make your business greener, more sustainable, right? Very simple steps, right? And corporates, they like to see initiatives within their scope 3 suppliers. What type of engagements they're doing, what type of transition they're doing, okay? If you are in manufacturing, even easier. You can automate your processes even more. You can change your technology, update and refresh your technology, and and you can introduce more efficient delivery of the services as well, right? So it is important to note that through our industry survey with Monash University, we found that 60% of SMEs today, manufacturing sector in particular, has actually began the journey towards transitioning into more sustainable practices. Right? That is very encouraging, but it's also important to note that these things are usually tracked and monitored, and simple steps that you can take. Right? One more example, if I may, just to come up with a policy, right? A company policy, and sign off by the director or the MD to say that I would like to how should I say? We will endeavor to reduce our electricity dependency by 20% every year for the next 5 years. One statement, powerful enough or not? Yes, I can tell you it's very powerful, right? Because you will take the action. As a director, as a business owner, you are taking the step to make your business more sustainable as well.
Oh, thank you for your sharing. So over here, owners of the SME, which is the leader of the company, leaders should inspire. So your subordinate, your staff, they will follow. So from here is we are creating the environment to save the earth, as sustainability is actually helping the earth to be more healthy. So today's discussion make one thing very clear. ESG is no longer a theory or a future concept. Don't just only heard about it, okay? Have to practice it. It directly impacts how SME get funded, as just Ms. Stacia has just explained, and how they tax, how they grow, okay? Just like Mr. Alan has just explained, oh, an EV car, the company car changed to EV car. Wow, you have a good point that to get a loan. So yeah, next time I should get a EV dealer to come to our booth, okay? So remember, fellow entrepreneurs, SMEs, don't need to be perfect in ESG, but the must start being structured, because once you structure your governance, you unlock the tax benefits, funding opportunities, and long-term growth. The moment you connect to ESG, to real outcomes like cost savings, tax incentive, and funding, all about costing, it becomes a business decision, not a compliance burden. Now, let us give a round of applause to our speakers for today, Ms. Stacia, Ms. Claire, and also Mr. Alan G. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Shall we take a group photo here? Can someone help us? Anyone with a mobile that you want to take? Okay. Okay. Thank you for your time. Thank you for all your sharing.
All right.
Next, I would like to pass to our MC.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause to